Hi there. Here's my wedding album that I've promised you. My wedding album project. Because it's not just the album. I made a couple other things to go along with it. I just wanted to let you know that it was inspired by Kathy Orta, and it's kind of a mishmash from her stuff that I've been watching for the past year. I love her, and she's changed the way I make my mini albums. So here we go. I made a box to go with my book. After I made my book, I decided it needed a box to go with it. I used the La Creme die cuts with a view paper. This is on the paper. It's kind of a felty type, velvety stuff here. And this is from the Sweethearts cartridge. This cut here, or I think it was the Sweethearts or the Wedding. I can't remember which exact one. I'm sorry. But yeah, here's the box I made. I lined it. I just took an old FedEx box and I cut it up, and I glued it and taped it and whatever I needed to do to get this thing together. But the book fits pretty nicely inside. Here's the album. I'll go over that next. But I also wanted to make a sign-in book, like the guest sign-in. It's kind of an unconventional wedding. You know, I think it's going to be done at some kind of building, community building or whatever. And so, you know, nothing too special or fancy is going to be at the wedding. But I'm going to put some letters on here, maybe guest sign-in or something like that on here. Or maybe guests' messages for the bride and the groom. And I took a bunch of different ribbons and I tied them on to the binding here. This was just a book I got from Walmart or AC Moore or something like that. It was like a little kid's book, and I just took it apart and I covered the covers. But first I inked with StazOn ink the edges before I covered it. That's the most important thing you can remember, is inking first before you cover. It makes it look so nice and finished. It gives it a nice finished look, and I just really like it. And right here is the ribbon. I did have it like sandwiched in between the paper and the cover, but it wasn't sized right for the pen, so I had to rip it apart and I adhered it right onto the back, and then I covered it with this ribbon. You really can't tell unless you look really close, but you know, I thought it looked alright. And the pen comes in and out, you know, pretty easily. And I covered the end here with some ribbon just to make it look a little fancy, kind of cover the name a little bit. But it's just a regular black click pen. That way you don't have to worry about losing the cover to it or anything. And I was thinking about having the ribbon connect to the book, but I didn't know about that. Maybe I will. I'll connect it to the binding or whatever, but this works fine. And there's that. Now we'll get... Oh, and I put a DVD or a CD. It's adhesive. Sorry, I'm out of frame. An adhesive CD holder that they can put inside of the album. If somebody takes movie or music or anything like that, they can put that into the book. So I thought that was a nice addition. Now onto the album. Let me move this out of the way. Again, I used a smaller image of the bride and the groom onto the cover. I put a little, I had some of these metal book plates, labels. I attached it with brads, and I have a little paper in here that will slide in and out. I haven't put the names in there, but I'm going to put the names of the bride and the groom in here. And I made some homemade flowers. And here's a butterfly I ordered from Oriental Trading like last year. My fingers look terrible from the ink. Excuse them. I used the duct tape, colored duct tape for the binding, which works awesome. And where the two meet, the duct tape meets the album, the paper, I covered with ribbon. I used a black ribbon on the bottom, and then I used the colored kind of a damask ribbon on the top, and more ribbon flowers that I love to make. And I got a new hot glue gun just to do this, because using the hot glue is a big difference when you're adhering things. Tim Holtz dye I used underneath to cover the ribbon that is for the closure. I used the ring cut, and I used an iridescent medium to paint on the diamond area. I don't know if you can see that glimmer, but it does. Here's a flower I used from also another Tim Holtz flower dye. I inked it up and used a brad in the center, and just more look at the ribbon. I put iridescent medium on here as well to make it shimmer. Now the closure, I used the same damask ribbon. I just folded in half and glued it. This closure I got from the Army Barracks. I was with my son, and they had these right at the register, and I was like, what would you use these for? And they said bracelets. So she showed me her bracelet, and I said, you know what? This would make an awesome closure for the mini album I'm working on. And she said, what a good idea. So I used some star eyelets. I used my crocodile to attach to the front and the back. And here's another Tim Holtz die cut, and I just cut a layer of black around underneath and used the white gel pen stitching. And here's more layered ribbon for the back as well. Now on to the inside. I think that was it for the front. On the inside, I pretty much kept the colors kind of tone on tone. I tried to not make it too bright and overpowering. But Sweetheart, this was cut from something else, Happily Ever After, so I just saved the inner cut of the letters and used it here. And I colored this with my markers. I just used markers to cut it out, to color it, I mean. I did that a lot in the book. I used flip pockets throughout the album. I just randomly placed them into the album. I knew I wanted something like this. I used a silver eyelet for each of the tags in the pockets, as well as a ribbon to help pull it out. There's the bride. Here's the groom. I was thinking maybe they could put pictures of the bride on here, pictures of the groom on here. Maybe their single days before they met, or during their dating phase. And I just love these pockets, how they fold down, kind of gives it a little interaction and interest in the albums. Here's some more Cricut cuts. I took this off from my daughter's crown that she had, but she never uses it, so I took some of these off it and I put it in this book. And a lot of these, most of these tags, I stamped a little journal spot on the back. Some of them are different. I think I had like 3 or 4 different stamps, journal stamps. I wish came true. And these are all cuts. Cricut cuts on here, Mr. and Mrs. Here's some more corner cuts. You and Me. Some more cuts up there. Inking. I did a lot of inking. Inking was a big thing on this book because it's black base pages, and I did not want the white core to show through. Hugs and Kisses, some more cuts here, and I did ink all these pages, edges with black StazOn ink. Here's another fold out. Here's the different stamp. Cricut cuts up here. But I just love these black pages. And each of these pages I put cereal box. I cut the cereal boxes and put them in, sandwiched them in between the papers. The black cardstock. Cricut cuts. Love is a Cricut cut. I used my Imagine to cut these out. Here's these stamps. I like this. Some more Cricut cuts. I love that. Just so sweet. And here was an envelope cut, and I put a paper from the collection in there, and I just wrote a nice note in there. Plus they can journal something else in there if they would like, or put a picture. But I just thought it added some interest and creativity to the album. Did I moment? Yep, I showed that one before. But I love this collection, this paper collection for a wedding type album or a love album. Here again, I outlined the cut lines because you couldn't really see it very well. Here I used my metallic markers to color in here. Here's another, I think these came from Storybook, but here's another little fold out thing. I just love adding little things like that. Here's another tag, and this is just a cut from the paper, and I just used some white gel pen. And here's the last page, the car I cut out, and I just colored it with my markers again here. Added some color and interest. Happily Ever After, and this is where I kept the letters, which I put at the beginning. Outlined it with my markers, and that's the end. And I love how this is such a sturdy book. It will last a long time. They've got two young girls, so this should stand up to them going through it, or helping them add pictures and stuff to their memorable book. Well, I hope you liked it, and I really like my new camera, and it made it so easy to upload to YouTube and to my blog, and stay tuned for some more projects from me. Have a great day. Bye.